Welcome to Financial Strategies with Andrew Agemy in Connecticut and Daniel Agemy in Colorado.
And behold, the star which they had seen in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Merry Christmas. Welcome to Financial Strategies for this Christmas edition. We don't have gold, frankincense, and myrrh, but we have peace. I'm Andrew Agemy.
I'm Daniel Agemy, and you are listening to Financial Strategies. Today, we are talking about a retiree's gift, the peace of mind. And this is a really important thing in this Christmas season. It can bring stress to people. There's all kinds of things going on all around the world. We've got rates going up, rates going down. We've got bulls and bears fighting if we're going into a bull market or a Great Depression. We have wars going on. There's all kinds of things. So what could be better than in this Christmas season to have a show about peace of mind for retirees?
That's right. That's right, Daniel. I agree 100%. And, you know, when the angels sang when Jesus was born, at peace on earth, goodwill toward men, right? And Jesus came so that we could know peace, have peace. And many times people, when they're thinking of retirement, they're scared to death in a lot of ways. They don't have peace, right? Everything's changing when they hit retirement. Their schedules change, their lifestyle changes, their paychecks change, their friends change. A lot of changes, a lot of anxiety, a lot of things that come to mind. People need peace. And that's not even to talk to them about how their investments are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So when we are talking about retiree's gift, we want to present a gift to the people who are open, retirees who are open-minded. If you're open-minded, this show is for you because we've got some good stuff, and we want to give the gift, right? We are dedicating our time because we care about people in retirement. It worries me right now that for the past 2 years, the 60-40 portfolio has done terrible. Long treasury bonds have done terrible. The S&P is down over 2 years and inflation is up tremendously. And it doesn't really matter what we say CPI is. Like if you go to the grocery store and you buy the same amount of groceries, how much more does it cost you? I would guess, and it's different for everybody, it's about 40%. So we want to give the gift of how you as a retiree can protect that spending power, how you can get this peace of mind in these uncertain times.
Yeah. The inflation is hitting us, is running rampant. Even though, like you say, Daniel, the CPI doesn't necessarily show it, but you know, the things that we actually buy is crazy. Cars, houses, right? Interest rates that
in the last 2 years. Yeah, exactly. But like if you're in a 60-40 portfolio, or if you're in equity ETFs or S&P, not only has your ability to purchase not gone up because your income has not gone up, but your portfolio hasn't even gone up.
Right. And
now, some people would say it has. Look at my statement. It's up, 18% year to date, right? It's up 20% year to date.
Yeah, that's great, right?
That's just because it came down so much in 2020. It's still where it was at the end of 2021. It's a little bit lower if you're in these things. And if you're in a 60-40, it's even low. It's down even more.
Right. You know, that's, we could go back, it is not where it was. You know, the market hit a peak in January 1st of 2022. And the market is not as high right now. The S&P, as we're recording this, the S&P is not as high as that. It's up, but it's not at that peak, and it's been going sideways. So, you know, if you lose 50%, if you have $1 and you lose 50 cents, how much money do you need to get back? What percentage of money do you need to get back to $1? Well, you need 50 cents.
50%, of course, right?
No, 50 cents, but 50 cents is 100% of 50 cents to get you back to $1. So when the market came down 20 or 30% and you're up 18, you're not back. And, it works. The percentages work different when coming back. So, people get fooled if you don't know what you don't know. And that's why we have the show, right? Because people don't know what they don't know. So we're trying to help educate you so you can make smart decisions. But a lot of people don't know that they don't know that when their statement says 18% or 12% that you made this year, that doesn't mean that you made that. Because if you go back to what you had 2 years ago, you don't even have what you had 2 years ago, all things being equal. Now, A lot of people are putting money in their paychecks and their 401ks, so they have more. But that's because you put more in.
It depends where you are in the stage of life. And some people are having fees associated with those because it might not be a 401k. It might be an investment account and somebody's charging you a fee. There also may be these pesky things called retirement required minimum distributions that you had to take out in 21, 22, and 23. And if you took those out, you took those at a loss compared to what it was at the end of 2021.
Right. Right. And that's a good point, Daniel. You said, if you have an open mind, this show is for you, right? Because there's a lot of people that we've spoken to over the years that, have all these things to say, yeah, but my money this and my money that, and I took it out of cash and all these different renditions, right? But all the things, at the end of the day, what's the strategy? And that's important. But there's a lot of risk that people are facing as they approach retirement and in retirement. And it causes anxiety. It makes me freak out, right? People come in and they're asking all these questions,
right? You might not feel stressed out or anything, but there's this nagging, this knowing of something's off, something doesn't feel right, right? We see this all the time. People coming in and they want to make a change, but they're not sure what to do because they hear so many conflicting things. And that kind of gets to that bulls versus bears. They both got good arguments that we're going to go into this new bull market. And then you got other people with a good argument that we're going into a Great Depression. And how do you make sense of it all?
Right. Well, the key is being prepared, whatever happens. That's the key, because you're not going to know, right? You're not going to know. And today you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy. And today's topic is Retiree's Gift, Peace of Mind. With this Christmas edition, we're offering you peace of mind. We want you to be able to sleep at night. And if you don't have peace of mind, if you have anxiety as you're thinking about retirement, you're not going to be able to sleep. So we got a paper that's going to help you. This is called 7 Risks to Your Retirement. Now, this may add to your anxiety. I get it, okay? But the point is that at the end, it says what to do, all right? And we're going to be talking more about what to do about how to bring peace of mind into show than we are why people don't have it. But 7 Risks to Your Retirement for free by calling 800-725-7616, 800-725-7616 for your free copy. Listen to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy, because people don't know what people don't know. Today's topic, Retiree's Gift, Peace of Mind. Right, Daniel, this time of year, Christmas, and people are thinking about peace. I was just, went into our lobby here and the TV was on with all the snow coming down, on the TV with Christmas music and beautiful, snow on the trees. You know how that looks. One of my favorite things is when it's snowing is to be able to go to breakfast, as you know, Daniel, drive to breakfast while it's snowing out and really enjoy that, right? Peace. Yeah. Why? Because it's a peaceful environment. When you do that, nobody's on the road, not a lot of people in the restaurant, right? So peace allows you to do a lot of things, right? I mean, who wants to live their life full of stress and anxiety? That's one reason why people retire, is to get rid of that stress and anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, there's a lot of things.
Some of the things that we see people come in that are pulling them down. And again, it doesn't mean that you have anxiety or that you're freaking out. Some people actually are, but
right.
It doesn't actually mean that. It just means that you have this knowing, you have this claw, and you have this intuition that's telling you something is off, something's not right. And a lot of these things that we see, right, are people worried about how long Social Security is going to last. Yeah, and that's nagging to them. It doesn't allow them to be fully free, to have that peace of mind where they can give that present to their grandkids or to do this trip that they thought, because it's in the back of mind. What happens if that goes away or is reduced? Market volatility. It's been a roller coaster, right? We've had a roller coaster the last 3-4 years where we've had downs, ups, flats, all kinds of stuff. And this is another thing, right? That gives people a lot of unease. It makes them worry. We hear people say stuff like, well, am I going to lose money like we did in 2000? Are we going to lose money like we did in 2009? Right?
Right.
And that's why they come see us, because they see that we think differently. We think differently. But these are things that people are worried about. Inflation. Now, not as many people are talking about inflation. It's not on. Although, the Biden administration, God bless their souls, sent out a tweet the other day saying inflation is your fault. You should stop buying expensive things. And it's like, what am I buying? Eggs? I'm buying eggs. I'm buying a cup of coffee. Yes, those are expensive now. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one, Daniel. And that's another thing that is bringing anxiety to people. What's going to happen with the presidential elections and whatnot? And maybe I don't know. This is giving me all thoughts for our New Year's show, right? And what we need to do on that. But nevertheless, you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy. Today's topic is retirees, the retiree's gift, peace of mind. So we want to bring peace of mind to you. One of the things that we have for you we have a book that we'd like to give away to you. It's called Smart Retirement. And this is strategic movement around retirement taxation. So being able to have money tax-free available to you all the time with guarantees associated with it so that you can have liquidity and do what you want to do when you want to do it without paying taxes. Great thing, right? If it's tax-free, it's for me. That's what we're talking about. For this free book for the next 5 first-time callers, 800-725-7616, 800-725-7616. Call now.
You're locked on to Financial Strategy with Andrew and Daniel Agemy.
Daniel, recently Sylvia and I were having a discussion, our client Sylvia, and Sylvia's big concern. Andrew, what am I going to do? These CBDCs are going to come into play really soon there, and the government's going to take all my money, the central bank digital currency, and things are, I'm not going to have dollar bills anymore, and they're going to take it away. What am I going to do, Daniel? What am I going to do? Andrew, and I'm Andrew Agemy.
And I'm Daniel Agemy, and you're listening to Financial Strategies. Today, we're talking about retirees' gift, the gift of peace of mind. And AAA, there's that we've been hearing a lot about. I think some of these gold companies, especially, are pushing this narrative of like money is not going to be worth anything, and this digital currency is going to come take everything away. And we already have digital currency. So that's one thing. Central bank digital, it's already digital. It's just kind of slow. So what these people really are worried about is programmable money, where a government or an entity can decide how much money you should have and how much you shouldn't. But yeah, that's another one of these fears that people have. And even though we have had quite a few people really freaking out about these things. But even if it's not a nagging fear, if it's just taken away from your enjoyment, you worked a long time. Retirees, you've worked a long time for this retirement. Well, don't let it be derailed by some of these fears, by some of these unknowns.
Definitely.
Start planning to protect yourself from these things.
Yeah. It's one of the many things that cause anxiety as people are in and approach retirement, keep them from enjoying retirement, keep them from the joys of life, from the peace of life. You mentioned inflation earlier, Daniel, but and how much, groceries have gone up 40% or so, but people can't buy the same things with the same money that they used to. And that's very huge. And we're not done with that. Right. I mean,
no, this is by design. This is not a flaw in the system. This is this is not a bug in the system. This is the design of the system because of the debt system that we live in. Everything needs to get more expensive every year so that the debts can be paid down.
Right. You know, it's crazy, right? I mean, I remember, 1990, I had a minivan that was a $20,000 minivan, which was a really expensive car then. And today you'd be glad to be able to buy a minivan for 20 grand, right? I had a conversation with somebody the other day whose car is worth about 40 grand. And I said, that car, 40 years ago would have been, you could have purchased that for 6 grand. And, it's just crazy. So it's going to continue. Well, what is in place to bring peace of mind to people? Well, you have to be able to stay ahead of inflation. And that's what we're going to be getting to in the latter half of the show. But what we're talking about now is those things that bring anxiety to people. And the CBDCs, inflation, the market volatility, the reduction of Social Security. A lot of people are concerned about what's going to happen with Social Security in the year 2033 or 2035, thereabouts, how Social Security can be reduced drastically because it's a Ponzi scheme. At the end of the day, it comes down to a Ponzi scheme. And by 2033, 2035, somewhere in there, you're going to have far less people putting into it than who are on it at that point. And so that's why they're going to have to do, unless they do something between now and then, which hopefully they do, right? Hopefully the government gets smart, and they already made a couple moves toward that end, but they're not enough. These reductions of Social Security and other entitlement programs, or the 65-year-old tax, as I call it, but nevertheless, this is a Christmas show. So hey, Merry Christmas. And we're trying to bring peace to people, right? Give them a gift with this. And this is really depressing stuff when we're talking about this. But the idea is retirement's scary for all these reasons that we've just mentioned, not to mention the banking system, right?
Who knows where to put their money? What banks are good? Which banks are not good? We're kind of like the banking crisis is over. Is the banking crisis over?
Or it's just covered over, right? Like the 3 monkeys, right? Speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil, right?
Exactly. And so the reason we're bringing these things up is because sometimes when there's a nagging feeling, there's an intuition, there's something going on where you feel something's off, but you can't put your finger on it. So it's difficult to plan, right? It's difficult to plan for that or to think how to build a robust system, a robust strategy to carry you through those situations, through those fears, right? So we're just trying to kind of help people put a finger on that, and then you can start building that strategy. You can start building that system that will carry you through these difficulties that are out there.
Right. Peace, people wait for retirement and climb up that mountain of retirement their whole lives, looking forward to retirement their whole lives, and to get to retirement and not have what you want to have, and to not be able to enjoy it in the way you want to enjoy it would be a terrible and certainly an egregious situation. So today, retirees' gift, peace of mind, is you listen to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy. We want to give you the peace of mind on this Christmas edition of Financial Strategies. And with that, we have a paper we'd like to give to you called 7 Risks to Your Retirement. Talks about some more of these things that we've been going through in regard to what can cause havoc on your retirement. But the key is to be able to have a strategy that's time tested and going to make it through. So Merry Christmas. Have this. You can have this paper for free by calling us at 800-725-7616. It's 7 Risks to Your Retirement. So it's not just about the risk, but how to solve the risk and how to take care of the risks that you're facing. You can have that for free, 800-725-7616. Today's show is Retirees' Gift, Peace of Mind, because people don't know what people don't know. And when they know what they need to know, they can have peace. So welcome. So Daniel, we've been talking all these things about anxiety and, the things that cause this anxiety. Let's get into the fun part, man. Let's start giving them their gift.
Mm-hmm. All right. So when we talk about all these different things, we talk about all these different fears, we talk about all these different difficulties happening in the world. What are things that you've seen that allow retirees to have peace of mind. You've been doing this a long time, AAA. You've been doing this a very long time. You've seen a lot of markets. You've seen a lot of people. You've seen people who take advice. You've seen people who live miserable lives because they're not taking good advice and they keep doing the same. What's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right?
Yeah,
You've seen that
Right.
probably hundreds of times, if not thousands of times with people in your career.
Yeah.
You know a thing or two about this stuff.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what are some of the things with all these crazy things going on that do bring people peace of mind, that do allow people to enjoy retirement? And before you answer that question, there's a time where you have to start enjoying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
we're kids and it's like, when am I going to be an adult? And then I'll have money, or then I'll be able to do what I want. Nobody will tell me what to do. And then you get to adult and you're a young adult and you're like, well, I need to save. I need to build up for the future. So, and then you get somewhere in your 40s and you're like, well, retirement's a ways out, but I got to be serious. I have to pay for my kids' college. I have to save for retirement. I got a lot of stuff to do. And you keep putting it off. You keep putting it off. Now we see people in their 70s and they've retired, but because there's so much uncertainty, they're still saying, you told somebody this the other day. I heard you told somebody this the other day. Start spending the money.
Right.
Because now they're in their 70s and they're retired and they're saying, but what if? And so we want to help those people. You're in that retirement age to have the peace of mind where you can start spending, you can give the gifts, you can do the things you want to do, and you don't have to keep putting it off. Because if you made it that far, let's not put it off any further because life is uncertain, right? There's a gift, right? Our life is a gift and we don't know how long that's going to go. So let's get a strategy set up so that you can have the peace of mind and you can start spending. Okay. What are some of the things that give people the peace of mind?
Well, the big things that give people peace of mind are promises and guarantees. How many times do people think about and say, well, I hope I'm going to have enough for retirement. Well, I hope my money's going to grow. Well, I hope I'm going to have the income I need. Well, I hope to buy such and such or do such and such, right? But how about some promises and guarantees to make sure that you do? That's what we have for you today. Promises and guarantees, things that you can take to the bank and throw hope out the window. Now, there's a certain place for hope. When we're talking about the hope of eternity, now that's a good thing, right? But that is even has promises and guarantees to that hope. But when we're talking about money, hope is not a retirement plan, folks. Hope is not a retirement plan. You need promises and guarantees that you can take to the bank and grow your money organically to use renewable resources that you can depend upon, right? We're all in this big thing today about renewable resources. Well, what about having renewable resources for your retirement plan? And your retirement program, your retirement income. Most people do not have renewable resources for their retirement situations. A pension is it just keeps coming. That's a beautiful thing, right? It uses it and it will last the rest of your life. But what about your investments? Giving you something that you can have over and over and over and over for the rest of your life. Retirees' biggest fear. The one thing we didn't talk about when we're going through these things that cause anxiety, people, Daniel, is running out of money. Retirees think about
that's why they won't spend, right? That's why you had to tell that gentleman to start spending some money.
Right. And I actually have to twist my clients' arms to spend money because they can. And I would rather see them spend money than their kids spending money, because the kids are going to spend money. Like the thing in the travel agency, signing travel agency says, if you think you can't fly first class, your kids will, right? That's what's going to be. We've seen that. Kids get these inheritances and it's gone within a year or two. That's the national statistics for that, right? And so I want my clients to spend their money and to do what they want to do and to have the peace of mind to be able to do that. And that's what we're offering today through promises and guarantees. And part of that is this book that we have. You're listening to Financial Strategies by Andrew and Daniel Agemy, but we need to take a break. Before we go to break, we like to give out this book, Smart Retirement. Everybody wants to be smart. SMART in this case stands for strategic movement around retirement taxation. Who wants to pay taxes? I only want to pay as much taxes as I legally have to, right? I want to pay as little as legally possible. This is giving us a legal way to pay zero taxes on money if you have the right strategies for it. Easy read book, 100 pages. We really enjoy this. This is one thought process, one strategy amongst many, but this is one that we have for you and this book we're going to give away for free to the first 5 first-time callers at 800-725-7616. 800-725-7616. You're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy. Today's topic is Retiree's Gift. Peace of mind. Merry Christmas. 800-725-7616 for your free copy for the next 5 first-time callers. Go now.
This is Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy.
I heard this real estate investor talking the other day, and he was talking about paper wealth, right? Because right now a lot of people have paper wealth. Paper wealth is 401k, right?
Yeah.
You see the value of it, but it's not so tangible. It's there. And you see people trading Apple shares at whatever price they are, this $3 trillion company, right? And they're trading back and forth. And you think you can redeem it for those prices. Well, what if everyone decided to redeem it at the same time? You have no idea what you would get for those shares. Even if half the people thought to redeem it at the same time, you have no idea what you would get. It would drop like a stone. And he was saying, well, with real estate, it's the same. You could buy a house. If you have a $1 million home with no mortgage, what's your net worth? Well, technically, it's $1 million. You don't know what you could get for it. Now, if you have a $2 million home with $100,000 million mortgage, and you're collecting $65,000 of income, who's wealthier? Well, technically, you have the same net worth, $1 million. But one, you're collecting $65,000 a year of real money that you can do whatever you want with. I'm Daniel Agemy.
And I'm Andrew Agemy. And you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy. Today's topic is Retiree's Gift, peace of mind, because it's Merry Christmas to you all on this Christmas weekend. And we wish you well. And we're trying to bring some peace of mind to you, as we've been talking about. The first part of the show was talking about all those things that bring anxiety and why we need peace. And been talking about how to have peace. And, peace, when you're in Daniel, your illustration there of receiving receiving money every year, right? $60,000 or whatever. And that's a beautiful thing because, you can do some things with that and you're actually getting money. Like you always are saying, the definition of an investment is something that pays you. And, that house that you're not getting paid on is not paying you, whereas this one is paying you. And that can bring a lot of peace of mind. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about retirees' retirements, is making sure that they get paid and making sure that they're growing their money an old-fashioned way, organic growth, having divot promises and guarantees, things that can help them. And, we're giving away this book of Smart Retirement on today's show, which is talking about how people can have tax-free money. And that's a beautiful, tax-free, if it's, is a beautiful thing, right? If it's tax-free, it's for me. I love that. All kinds of things that can be done to have that availability and having some money available to people when they need it, and having it risk-free or as close as risk-free almost as you can get.
Yeah. So with the real estate example, real estate people get it because it doesn't matter what the value of the house is. It doesn't matter if the house goes down with the mortgage. It doesn't matter if it goes down to 1.5 million.
Right.
You don't care. The only reason you care is 2 million is so you can go and knock on your neighbor's door and show them that you have $2 million, right? Because you're still getting the same income.
Right.
And that $65,000 a year you can spend, you can reinvest, you can give it away, you can do whatever, you can go on vacation, you can do whatever brings you pleasure, because that's what retirement is about.
Mhm.
And speculation can be fun. Like watching your Apple stock go up and up and up can be really fun.
Yeah.
Watching your GameStop stock go up can be really, really fun, right?
Till it
The
goes the other way.
difficulty is most people lost all their money or more than what they had. There was a couple people that made money with that. And so it's all about balance, right? It's balancing the things. There's more in depth on that real estate example that actually can protect you, because one other thing that is maybe a second or third order consequence to this is if you own the house outright, you need that to go up in value each year for your net worth to go up.
Right.
On the one with the mortgage, you're collecting income. So, over a period of time, the house is free because you collected enough income to cover the whole thing, right?
Right. Right.
And another thing is we live in a world where we create inflation. That doesn't mean that the house will go up in value. It has, and you would think it would, but it doesn't mean, because the house isn't getting any better.
Right.
But do you know what's going to go down in value in a deflationary world? Even without you paying it down, your debt on the house, that will get eaten away by inflation. So there's a couple different things. So this is all about portfolio construction, right? This is all about watching out for the different risks that are going on in the world. So that example, actually, as we're talking about it, really provides a lot of different protections in the intricate details of it.
Right.
We see three primary things that tend to give people peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
Three big things. One is to have a big bucket of liquidity, that when anything happens, the great financial crisis happens and there's no money, you can't sell anything, there's no money available, you can tap into it. It's outside the banking system. It's growing, it's compounding, that eighth wonder of the world in the background, but it's available for liquidity needs, for emergencies, for investment opportunities, right? That gives people a lot of peace of mind. And this has been forgotten about. This kind of strategy has been forgotten about because markets have just gone up for so long. People don't think they need it anymore. People laugh at earning 4 or 5%.
Right.
But it's when you go try to sell your Apple stock, you go try to sell your ETFs, and everyone's doing it at the same time. You have no idea what you can get for that. So what do you do? That can bring a lot of anxiety. Now, most people don't think about that because it's been so long past. But this isn't a new thing.
Right.
We can go back to the 16th century, the 18th century. Yeah. We can go back to the Great Depression. We can go back to the financial crisis that we had in the last 20 years. And it's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right, Daniel. History repeats itself, right? And if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. That's why we are here at Financial Strategies, students of history, where we feel that the best way to learn things is from the experience of other people. And so we're trying to learn, and then we're also trying to educate other people in our experience. And I'm in my 4th decade of being in this. I've seen a lot of different markets. I've seen a lot of different things happen. Now I haven't seen inflation like we have had just recently here, but so far we're staying ahead of inflation, just like people did in the 80s. Not many people can tout that. So it's pretty exciting times from our side of things, right, Daniel? But today, you're listening to Financial Strategies. Andrew and Daniel Agemy. Today's topic is retiree's gift, peace of mind. We have another gift for you today. It's called a white paper called Building Blocks of Retirement. This paper is only about 3 or 4, maybe 5 pages long. Give you some ideas of what you need to do to be able to think ahead for retirement, or how to make your retirement better if you're already in retirement. We'd love to put that in your hand by calling 800-725-7616 for your free copy. Daniel, this bucket of money that people can have, right? That is not affected by the markets. It's moving ahead slowly. It's moving ahead tax-free, right? I mean, when is $1,000? Listen to the audience. When is $1,000 not $1,000? When you have to pay tax on it. it's only worth $700 to you. But if you can get it tax-free, $1,000 is $1,000 that you can actually spend $1,000. And that's what we're talking about, is having this bucket of liquidity that you can have tax-free, that should you need it for long-term care, should you need it for cash, should you need it for whatever, that it passes on to your heirs tax-free. It's a beautiful thing that gives you optionality. Right, Daniel? Optionality is a beautiful thing.
It's an amazing thing, and this has really been forgotten about. People, like I said, they scoff at it almost. And there's some different ways you could do it. So you could do treasury bonds, right? Now you could do treasuries, or you roll them over 6 months. That's a strategy where you can have safe money. You need it to roll over because you don't know what you'll be able to sell it for when you need the money. So if you structure it in a way, every 6 months or year, you could do it that way. There's insurance, mutual insurance companies, right? Where you're owner of that company. You need it to be a strong company. And this has worked in times like the Great Depression, where people who had these cash value life insurance policies, and you have a whole thing where it's death insurance or life insurance, and it's dependent on how it's built because it gives you benefits when you're alive or dead. So that's a whole nother conversation we're not going to get in today, but they're built. And the key word here is it's robust. It's there for you when you need it, right? It's robust and it's working for you. It's compounding for you, but it's available to you in the worst of times. And that's what that security blanket or that liquid assets or that opportunity fund or emergency fund needs to be, where it's outside of the banking system. So you don't have to worry about specific bank rests or FDIC insurance or any of these kinds of things. And it's not affected by market volatility. It's there for you in the worst of times when the unfathomable happens, right?
And the best and the worst, right? Exactly.
Yeah. And that's something that I think most people don't have. Most people, they have some money in the bank, or they have cash in their investment portfolio, or things like that. And the difficulties you get into there is either you're not earning enough money to keep up with inflation, or you can't access it when things hit the fan, or you get locked out of it for some reason. And I know some people might think that's a joke, but in recent history, this has happened in other countries where you get locked out and you can only take so much money. So these are things that you want to pay attention to. If we do not pay attention to history, we're doomed to repeat it. And so that's that first kind of, quarter or third of that portfolio that is able to allow people to have peace of mind.
Exactly. And Daniel, during the Depression, there wasn't, this is where people got money to be able to help them through the Depression. So a lot of people don't understand that, and they're not prepared for that kind of thing. But our clients tend to be. So it's a great thing. Merry Christmas to you. You're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy. Today's topic is retirees' gift, peace of mind. We want to give you peace of mind today and help you to know what you don't know. And along those lines, we have this book that we'd like to give you called Smart Retirement. Easy read book, about 100 pages or so, that will give you some good thoughts on how to be able to prepare for have tax-free money and how to be able to have this bucket of liquidity that Daniel was just talking about. Love to put this in your hand to the next 5 first-time callers at 800-725-7616. 800-725-7616, or catch us on the web at agemy.com, spelled like AGEMY, the 2 words agemy.com. Or also pick up the show. If you only picked up now listening to it, you can hear the entirety on from our website or any place that you listen to podcasts. 800-725-7616. Call now.
You're locked on to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy.
Daniel, back in the day, right, that people had guaranteed income when they retired. They didn't have to worry about their investments and what the market was doing. They had peace of mind because they would get pensions from their companies, guaranteed income for the rest of their life. And when they passed away, their spouse would get benefit from that. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, ever since ERISA came out in 1974, less and less companies have been offering that or giving that to their new employees. Many people listening to the show right now may have a pension, but yet their children probably don't. And guaranteed income can bring peace of mind. And that's our gift today on Financial Strategies. I'm Andrew Agemy.
And I'm Daniel Agemy, and you're listening to Financial Strategies. AAA, tell us more about why you're talking about pensions. So, I mean, most people, I shouldn't say most people are forgetting what pensions are, right? Because companies have gotten rid of the pension plan. And I think the biggest reason that's a problem is what it's done is it's taken the management of the money from an institutional manager that has access to everything, that all they do is manage the money, and put it in the hands of someone that's good at something else, a nurse or a doctor or someone who's, they're good at their profession, but they don't spend all day, every day looking for investments or have access to all investments. They only have access to what they're allowed to buy in that fund, where, there's private debt, there's there's all these kinds of things pensions have access to, a pension fund that a regular retail person does not have access to.
Right. And, so we're talking about that because, a guaranteed income, when you retire, you don't need, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million. What you need is a check to replace an income, to replace the income that you're no longer getting from your employer. Now, Social Security is seen as one of those checks, guaranteed income for the rest of life. Unfortunately, Social Security is only about 40% of what somebody needs to live on in retirement. Most people need to live on in retirement. So where are you going to get the other 60% from? Well, some people get it from pensions, and pensions are a beautiful thing because it guarantees you money. Now, pensions or Social Security, those guaranteed incomes, those are forms of an annuity. There's various kinds of annuities. There's 4 different kinds of annuities, but the basic concept of an annuity is something that's going to pay you for a period of time, usually for the rest of your life. And so a guaranteed income can go a long way in bringing peace to our listeners today on this Christmas show.
I think you did a good job of explaining annuity, because if you look it up, that's pretty much exactly what the definition is.
Right.
So when people would go to work for a company, they collect their paycheck and they would see how close they were getting to their current income.
Right.
Because with a pension, it doesn't say I have $2 million. And we already talked about how that's kind of funny money. Your 401k money, yes, based on the last trades, it's worth whatever it's worth. But if everyone wanted to do that, or all baby boomers, let's just say, wanted to do it at the same time, there would be no liquidity. You have no idea what you would get. Whereas with that pension, you're collecting that income, and it's real money that you can do whatever you want with.
Right. Exactly. And, I need to say this, Daniel, at this point, because a lot of people I can't believe, it's hard to believe that a lot of people don't understand what I'm about to say, that your 401ks are able to be rolled over into IRAs, generally speaking, after you're 59 and a half or leave the company. And so I talked with somebody recently that had been retired for a while, and they said, "Oh, I didn't know I could roll my 401k over." And yes, you can. Why would you do that? To give you other options. The 401k is owned by the company. The money is yours, but it's the plan is owned by the company. If you roll it over into an IRA, now not only is the money yours, but the plan is yours, and you get to decide how to invest it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And one of those things you could do with that is get yourself a guaranteed income with that money, or additional guaranteed.
That's a big, big, big deal. People don't know what they don't know. And one thing is, when it's time to get the money, it can be difficult because these plans think it's their money. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to be in a situation where it's necessity to get the money and the plan's fighting you. And we've seen this happen hundreds of times, where the plan doesn't want to release the money. They think it's their money and they make you jump all through the soup. So it's better to do it in advance And there's another present for you, which is Jerome Powell has increased rates. And you can lock into these higher rates right now. That's a magnificent present, because my entire working career, I have not seen rates like this. You have before, I have not. And it's a pretty cool thing, because we don't expect them to stay around forever.
It is. It's a great time. There's changes. Three things in life are certain: death, taxes, and change. The question is, what is the change going to be, and what are you going to do with the change? And we are taking advantage for our clients right now, the changing things within their portfolios to increase their money, increase their bottom lines, increase their income. And it's fantastic. It's exciting. It's an exciting day to be in this business for what we can do for our clients and the people that become clients. I just loving it. But you're exactly right, Dan. These things are good. Now you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy, because people don't know what people don't know. Merry Christmas. Today's gift is retiree's gift. We have peace of mind for you. That's what we're talking about. We started talking about the things that bring anxiety to people, but the things that bring peace to people is having a bucket of money that's safe, that is available to be able to grow when you want it to grow, but also be able to use and not be affected by what's happening in the market. Another thing that we've talked about is guaranteed income, how you can get guaranteed income. And we have, there's things that you can do to make sure that you will not run out of money. But the key is, are you working with a true investment specialist, income specialist, to be able to help you do that? Well, we have a gift for you today called Building Blocks of Retirement. This paper is going to be able to help you educate you on those things that you don't know, so that you can be able to ask the right questions to know more, or to be able to change your situation to improve it for your benefit. We'd love to put this in your hand for free by calling us at 800-725-7616, or you can check us out at the web at agemy.com. The two words age, my spell our last name at Agemy, and you can ask for it on there on our website. You're listening to Financial Strategies. Merry Christmas. Today's topic: retiree's gift, peace of mind. Daniel, we talked about guaranteed income. We talked about this bucket of money. There's still renewable resource, right? There's still organic growth. Most people go for growth, right? The regular, not organic growth, right? Hope growth, right? $10 a share, $11 a share, $12. Hopium. Yeah, there we go. That's a good one. Hopium is not a retirement plan. $10 a share, $11 a share, $12 a share, right? And I got to write that down, Dad. Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe I'll put that in my book, right? That's what people are typically doing. And that's what you gave in the example of the real estate and how it's not necessarily money. Because if all the baby boomers decided to sell all their investments at the same time, that Apple stock would plummet, right? And go from whatever it is, the $13 share would go to 10 and 9 and 8 and 7, right? But you can grow your money instead of with hopium. Grow it organically, right? Yeah. Which is reinvestment of dividends and interest, right? Which is the old-fashioned way of doing it, where you get compounding. The growth methodology is not compounding. There's no compounding. It's only $10 share, $11, $12. There's no compounding. But if you have $100,000 and you get 6% interest, $6,000, and you put it in there, now you got 106. And then the next year, instead of having 112, well, you've got 113 because of the compounding aspect with it. Renewable resources. I like, go ahead.
It changes focus, right? Each of these things change focus because society today has this thing called 401k brain, which is what you're explaining, going up, 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 up. The problem is it's paper money. It's not wealth. Wealth is hard assets. Wealth is real money that you can spend. This is paper wealth where it can come today and go tomorrow. You don't know what's going on. And when we're talking about building a robust portfolio for a retiree that needs to last them 30, 40 years, this is an important thing. Now, I'm not against speculation at all. I think speculation is a good thing. It can be fun. It can, really increase your portfolio, but you need to know when you're speculating, and you need to know how much money you want in the speculation bucket. You do not have to speculate at all, but some people want some speculation, and that's completely fine. As long as you call it what it is and don't call it an investment. It's speculation. Hope investing is not an investment.
Mm-hmm.
It's hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's speculation. So make sure that's balanced out properly. Yep. And when you need 40 more years, or you need 30 more years, or you need 20 more years of collecting income off your portfolio, hope should not be the strategy for that.
That's right. That's right.
So when we talk about that, you're talking about collecting income, you're talking about compounding it. That protects you from inflation. And when we're talking about, we talked about that liquidity bucket, which is solid there. No matter what's going on, you can tap into it.
Right.
We talked about income and changing your focus from watching the 401k go up to watching the number that you can collect one day go up, right?
Yeah.
My income went from 40,000 to 50,000. Now it's 60,000. Okay. That means that maybe it's time to retire. I can collect $60,000 a year, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's changing the way you're thinking from that 401k brain to what I will be paid, because that's what you can spend. And then this last one is kind of moderate. It's in between the two. And what we like to call it is the mathematically certain, right? Where we are investing in a company that we get a contract that we know how much they're going to pay us, and we know when we're going to get our money back, and we know how much we're going to get back. So we can go into companies that are at discounts. So we collect our income, but the growth is built in mathematically, where we know it's going to rise from, let's say, 8,000 to 10,000 over a 5-year period of time. And we collect the income in the meantime. And what allows that to do is compound. And we've talked about how we were worried about people at the beginning who have, 60-40 portfolio or have S&P funds because they haven't done anything in 2 years and their income really hasn't gone up. Maybe it went up in the 60-40 because rates went up, but it depends how it's structured.
Yeah.
Whereas it's compounding, which means over those last 2 years, we've seen people that are in double-digit returns. On average, 25% a year increase over those 2 years.
Right.
That's money you can take to the grocery store. You don't care that the groceries are up 40% because your income went up by 50. You're still ahead by 10%.
Cool. Promises and guarantees, man. Renewable resources instead of hopium. Love it. Love it. This is great stuff. And this is our gift to you today to bring you peace of mind on this Christmas show with Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Agemy. We hope that you've gotten a lot out of it today, and let us know your comments, your questions. And as we offer you this free book, call us at 800-725-7616 for this book, Smart Retirement, which will educate you further on that pocket, on that liquid money, that bucket of money to be able to have available to you tax-free. Or if you want to know more about the income, the organic growth, the guaranteed income, we're glad to help you, educate you more on that. But let us know, 800-725-7616. This book to the next 5 callers, first-time callers at 800-725-7616. Remember, an educated retiree is a happy and stress-free retiree.